Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Max Warframe, where we've got to the stage where I've done videos honestly on a huge amount of weapons in the game at this point, and that's taken me something like 2 years to do, but as you can imagine, some of them are a bit out of date now. I asked the peeps in my Discord recently what weapons they'd like to see me redo builds for, and today's weapon was one that came out on top of the list, and that is the secondary shotgun pistol buffed in update 21, and that is the Pyrana. You can find it in the Tenno lab in the dojo. It's not too expensive to build, despite requiring a former to do so. It does come with a pretty hefty mastery rank requirement of 12 to be able to build it. Once you do though, you end up with a secondary shotgun weapon with a newly buffed 264 base damage. A huge chunk of that comes as slash, the rest being split equally between impact and puncture, and it makes it amazing against fleshy targets. Its supporting stats show where it's just going to shine though. The 10% status chance isn't really enough to mod for, especially on a shotgun. Status on a shotgun just isn't worth modding for unless you're going to hit 100%. If you'd like to see my reasoning why, I'll link a previous video in the description below. What is worth modding for, however, is crit. 20% crit chance, 200% crit damage multiplier means you're going to be able to pull off a pretty strong crit build, especially with how insanely strong pistol crit mods are. The crazy damage combined with crit is kind of balanced out a bit with the rest of its supporting stats, however. That 10 round magazine empties very quickly, it puts out a lot of damage very quickly, but with the 2-second reload it does feel like you're spending most of the time reloading. Although this used to be a 5 round magazine, so it feels way better than it used to. The Pyrana also has pretty high recoil, so keeping your shots on target takes a bit of skill, and it does hurt its effectiveness over range. Which, honestly, to be fair, isn't the biggest problem ever, because the damage falls off over range anyway, and that starts at 15 meters from a target. So realistically, even with high recoil at 15 meters or closer, shouldn't really be that hard to keep the shots on target. In terms of building it, honestly, my build's not really changed that much since my original video. I've now got 7 former on there: Hornet Strike, Barrel Diffusion, Lethal Torrent, Prime Pistol Gambit, Prime Target Cracker, 2 90% elemental mods, and then the final mod can be a personal preference one. You can go with Prime T to charge, another 90% elemental. I've got Quick Draw on there. I like to bring that reload speed just down a little bit. Even Maim honestly works pretty well on here if you wanted to push the slash damage higher. This is honestly exactly the same build I did when the video first came around. Except the Prime Target Cracker wasn't actually a thing then, and now I favour reload speed over extra damage personally. The extra damage of another 90% elemental or even primed heated charge is nice, don't get me wrong, but with the recent buff to base damage of the weapon, I feel that decreasing the reload actually felt better than having even more damage. The extra damage just felt kind of unnecessary. So what do I think of the newly buffed Pyrana? Do I still like it as much as when I originally reviewed it? And the answer to that is I absolutely do. I think you could probably guess that. I loved the original a lot already, but the buff it got in the update 21 took it to the next level. That damage buff combined with the double magazine size means that the damage output of the Pyrana is way more than it used to be. Up close, this thing is easily one of the top secondary weapons out there. It's pretty incredible. The combination of the looks, the sound of the Pyrana, the way it feels, it's definitely one of my favourite secondary weapons. Yet, it's always one that I kind of forget exists, which is a real shame because it is awesome. If you want a rhythm for this thing or have one, you should definitely be looking for sort of the standard crit things: crit chance, crit damage, increasing your damage, increasing multi-shots, never going to be a bad thing either. You could though also go with reducing the reload speed with a ribbon as well. That would be pretty nice. Dropping the reload speed from 2 seconds to like 1.5 or lower than that. And because the disposition is 4 out of 5, you should be able to get a pretty decent, strong ribbon for the Pyrana, and that further pushes its performance into something truly terrifying at close range. Going back and checking out weapons I've not used in a long time is one of my favourite things to do in Warframe. Playing with the Pyrana again has been a blast. That buff it got recently, combined with a really good ribbon disposition, has turned this thing into a bit of a powerhouse. It looks cool, sounds cool, and has the damage and performance to back it up. It is the full package. If you like your shotgun secondaries, I would recommend giving the Pyrana another look. So I hope you enjoyed my second look at the Pyrana. I definitely did. Lots of second looks and updated builds coming soon, but for now, many thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next video.